let's talk about what are in Bain's plans for the future. Are you working on new material right now?
Well, we
Are you
have
touring?
yeah. So let's okay. I'll answer the first one. So I have some songs that are like that I think I can turn into proper songs that they aren't done. Some leftover from earlier years, etc. I know that some of them will turn out to good songs, but I haven't started proper working on it yet. I always take a break from music after I finish an album, to be honest. And one other member has, been active and actually written a little bit of music. So I think he will also contribute with some songs. But we haven't started kind of massively. And then touring, we have received a couple of offers. Unfortunately, we had to turn them down. And a big problem for the band we always had is that, we have always been focusing on our studies, and then later on our full-time jobs, and then we later on had families. So we never took time off to like tour full-time and only focus on the band. If we had done that early in our career, this band would have been 10 or 20 times bigger. I think the sky would have been the limit, to be honest, because the albums have always received fantastic critics, and this one now again I've seen now on more than 50 album of the year lists, like mentioned.
Every
But
time. I've seen you every time in every of your record. You are always nominated to album of the year list.
yeah, and we are very glad for that. I mean, I would have loved to be able to be out there a lot more to tour. I would love obviously to live from music, but when you have family and full-time jobs and mortgage, you can't just jump off and do that kind of hard work to get in a position where you can live from music. It takes many years of hard work. You have to do it when you're young and when you don't have any obligations, and maybe maybe you can come to a point where you can make a decent living, but it's very tough. So the band has clearly suffered from that because it's hard. Either you kind of have to go full on with the band, or like it's hard to do something in the middle. Like we want to try to maintain a normal life but still tour and play live as much as possible. But a lot of the tours you're offered these days are very long, like 1 month or something. It's just too long for us. Then we lose our jobs, we lose our house, etc. But I
I
hope
know,
to be
I
able to
know.
do something. And
Adult life is hard. We know.
yeah, and I would love to come to South America. That would be a dream. Like if there is anyone in
But
Colombia.
you of the record, you told me that you were in Colombia
Yeah, I've been
sometime.
there, but that was on holiday. I was there in Cartagena and Medellin in 2017. I had a great time. I think very nice people in Colombia, and I love the cities and the nature and everything. So, but I know that the people in Colombia, like the metal scene, they have a lot of passion. I would love to come and play a gig there. A couple of cities, maybe combine it with some of the other countries in South America at some point. That would be
Mhm.
great.
We can talk later about it.
Yeah, let's
Because
do that.
let's do that because we love to be there. So we can
Yeah,
speak
we
later.
see a lot of interest from South America. I'm getting a lot of messages all the time, and I see people that are paying a lot, to buy the album, and they're spending a lot on the shipping fee, because it's
It's
very.
it's a bit expensive.
Yeah, it's
My copy is on the way.
yeah.
So
Unfortunately, it's really out of our hands. Unfortunately, I really would love it to be a lot cheaper. It's just so expensive, unfortunately. But
but but,
thanks for
but
supporting.
it's not that is well. If you compare quality of music with the cost of the album, it's okay. Okay, so
Yeah, I
we pay it.
actually, to be honest, if you compare what you pay for an album, it's like buying two beers. Some
Mhm.
places, you get a piece of art, to be honest, and you can listen to it for a long time. I think
Yeah.
music is way too cheap, in my opinion, if it's quality music.
Yeah.
But what I don't like is that people who are buying the album, they pay the same for the album as in the shipping. Obviously, I would have liked that the shipping fee was a smaller part of the total cost.
Well,
Um,
that's quite difficult, because you
we
know
can't do anything about it, unfortunately.
you you're not in charge of that, so
Uh,
it's hard to do that. So, well, that's the last one, unfortunately, because it has been a very nice chat. How do
yes,
you
yes.
see the progressive and extreme metal scene today? And there is maybe there is a band or an artist that you find interesting right now, besides of you.
Yeah, no, I try, especially when we released this album, I read all the reviews. I always think it's funny with artists that say they never read the reviews. I don't believe it, or it's because they just receive bad reviews. Because I think you can learn a lot from reading the reviews, and
Hmm.
obviously it's interesting to hear people's feedback. But when I read the reviews, I often see other bands mentioned, and I also, on all these album of the year 2024 lists, I've seen us on more than 50 of them now. And then I look, okay, who are the other bands here? And then I've started to check some of those bands out. But it's hard these days because there are so many bands out there. I don't really, but like a band like Ulcerate, but they have been around for long now, so it's not really a very like clever or like new thing band to mention. But there is one I maybe mentioned. Let me just see if I can. I think they're from Portugal or something. It's a
Garia,
black
you mean?
Garia, yeah, that one.
Garia?
Yeah, that one. I think those I really liked. I liked that band. But I mean, they seems they are becoming quite big, or I don't know. But that's one I came across. I know their previous album, but I've also seen that they are on many of these lists. I think that's a really interesting band. It's more like black metal, but
Yeah.
I really like it.
No, they are just shifting like the other bands like you either. They're shifting just like a raw black metal to a more progressive stuff that is hard to classify.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's a nice album too.
yeah, great. Yeah.
Not like yours, but it's a nice album.
Okay. Thank you.